2 years on my own, had no success, and decided I'd go ahead and spend the money and get hands-on with the crew. Well, I'm an old paratrooper. I got a lot of parachute jumps under my belt and got a bad back as a result. And I was at the point where I was about ready to hang up golf because I just couldn't go out and play 36 and anything like that. I'm not old enough for just 9, so I figured I'd get back or get into the single plane and see if it would work, and it absolutely cured the back issue. I can go out and play 36 today. Well, I'd say loosen up on your pocketbook and make the investment. The value that I see with each and every of the Graves events, training, the staff, everything about the events has tremendous value. You look at the coaching options that they have right now. I'm an elite member. I can't use all of what they offer unless I was just fully retired and did nothing but focus on golf. So the value is there in every product they have, in every type of training. And what I see with the quality of instruction and the consistency and the passion for excellence, this is something that you see at Graves. And you might get it out of 1 or 2 individuals at different golf courses or systems of instruction, but you're not going to get the same thing if you go from guy A to guy B to guy C. You're going to get 3 different attempts at helping you fix your golf swing or develop a golf swing. And you can talk to any one of the half a dozen instructors that might be at a training event, and they're all going to tell you the very same thing. They work on the model, and that's what they try to project, and that's what they try to instill into people. I'd say if you just look at the features of the package, what you get with it for the cost of the elite membership, it's really a no-brainer. I mean, when you look at everything that's included in that 12-month program, it's really, again, it's great value, as with everything else that I've seen with Graves. If you're not familiar with the single plane, become familiar with it. Go to a 1-day orientation, go to a 3-day class, evaluate for yourself. Get these folks to put their hands on you and show you the model way to hit a golf ball. And in my mind, and from what I've observed, there's no better way to do it. If you're an old golfer and got bad habits and you need help, this is a place to start working on that. If you're a brand new golfer, I don't know why you wouldn't start right here.
Good afternoon. My name is Ed Harper, and I went single plane approximately 22 years ago. That's when I started. I saw an article about Mo Norman in the Golf Digest, and it said nobody knows what Mo knows. So I read that, and I was quite interested. So I started playing around with it for a few years. So I went to the school with my oldest son, and we both kind of fell in love with the single plane. 3 months after I went to the school, I got my first hole-in-one. So that really enticed me to go completely with the single plane. Well, I've had some medical issues and bad back, so that put me out of commission for a while. So I had to, the only way I could swing was with the single plane. I could not do conventional golf anymore, so I was completely single plane. It's the only way I could swing the club. And I noticed as I got a little older, I was still maintaining the distance that I had when I was younger. So I really liked that. I was more consistent and enjoyed the game just tremendously. The schools are great. Boy, it's really evolved, but it's improved tremendously. And I really love the on-demand, and I'm a gold member and have been for quite a few years. And I really like the coaches, that I can send something in and they'll watch my video and get me back on track. And the coaches I've met, Trent and Clay, have done an excellent job with me. So I've talked 4 of my friends into coming to the Graves Golf Schools. One that lives in St. George, and she loved it, absolutely. And 2 that live in Idaho Falls, and they loved it. And then the greatest thing I did come back this year was to be with my son and his son. So we have 3 generations here learning the single plane. Well, the most noticeable improvement with the single plane for me was hitting a lot more fairways, more consistent in the takeaway and in the swing in general. It lowered my scores quite a bit. I got down to a 5 handicap for many, many years, and played in a lot of tournaments, won quite a few, and got high rank in quite a few other ones, and it's just really enjoyed it. And a lot of my friends thought I was crazy switching because I was pretty good conventionally, but I wanted that consistency and the one setup, and I didn't have to listen to multiple pros telling me this and that and changing my mind. So I just stayed with it because I love the idea of one model to go with. That's what I did. And here I am. I love it. It works. It's simple. My friends all know how simple it is because they watch me as I take their quarters or whatever. We have some small little bets, and we have a great time with it. I want to get up every day. I love to practice, and I love the game, and I just really look forward to every day that I can go play.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But he will never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.
Hello everybody, and good evening, and welcome to Graves Golf. We're in the studio tonight, and I'm excited to be here because there's some things we need to cover that are going to help you hit it straighter. There's a lot to hitting it straighter, and tonight I want to get into to really why you're probably here. And I have, I'll be asking you questions, and if you do have questions throughout tonight's program, please throw those in the chat. Some of our team is in the chat with you as well. and they'll get those questions posted. I know there's a bit of a delay between you and me when I ask a question, but we'll get all those questions answered. I'm sure you have some of those. But one of the things that I want to talk about tonight is, and the reason you're here, is because I want you to understand how there are ways of becoming more consistent. We're going to talk about that tonight, becoming more consistent. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to know, the clarity behind what you can do in your golf swing right now, so you're in the right place to learn some of that tonight. I want you to stop guessing. Tonight we're going to stop guessing at how to fix your swing. I was in the chat a few minutes ago watching some of the questions come through, noticing some of the questions you were asking, and there's some good questions in there about hitting different clubs, and we'll talk about some of that as well. But I want you to stop guessing. I'm even going to go in tonight about ways of saving your back. I mean, this program can help you save your back as well. But I want to really talk about what probably the reason you're here is the same reason I'm here tonight. And that is because years ago, back in the early 90s, I was an aspiring golfer trying to get better at playing the game. I was working with the best golf instructors in the world, and I always tell people no one has spent more money than me on golf instruction. And at the time I was working trying to figure out what is going on with the golf swing. Can I make it easier? How do I get better at the game? Why am I having so many problems? Why am I good one day and not good the next? Why do one time I go on the course I can hit it pretty good, and the next day I lose it completely? And I was in that mode of, I was that close to quitting. And how many of you, and if you can go in the chat, because I'm going to have some interaction with you tonight, how many of you are that close to quitting or have been? I mean, every golfer I know has been frustrated at one point, and I was right there. So I am with you tonight, and I want to help you learn what I've learned over the last 30 years and show you that there is an easier way to play the game of golf. So tonight I'm going to go into how you can become more consistent, how you can become better, and how you can, for the rest of your life. And this is what this program tonight is all about. I am not a quick fix person. Tonight is not about quick fixing you. Tonight is giving you a long-term, lifetime solution. So, and I saw it in the chat earlier, some of you are talking about going from 20 handicap to 16. I want you to lower your handicaps, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and obviously have more fun playing the game. That's what tonight's program is about, so I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're a part of this, because I can give you what helped me so much, and the reason I love the game so much, and the reason I'm standing in front of you tonight is to teach you what I've learned. Now, after I was frustrated and trying to figure this thing out, this close to quitting, I met a guy named Mo Norman. And we're going to talk about that tonight. And what I'm going to go through tonight is what I consider his discovery. Now, a lot of people talk about methodology, and how many of you out there, and you can put it in your chat, are going to YouTube, maybe you watch it on the Golf Channel. I was watching golf today on the Golf Channel. You watch instruction. There's all these methods out there. I've never considered Mo Norman's golf swing a method, because people say, well, why isn't there more people swinging like Mo? Here's the thing I have to ask for you. There is easy ways and hard ways to do everything. And tonight, I want to show you an easy way to get the job done, which means the most important moment of impact. We're going to talk about that tonight. So tonight, we're going to cover two things that are going to help you. Number one, I'm going to go through the single plane swing. We're going to go through the basics of the single plane swing. This is what you need to know to become a more consistent ball striker. I'm going to give you the basics tonight, so you guys can look forward to that. We're going to go through some basic fundamental stuff with a single plane swing that'll help you get you started. And then I'm going to give you a formula. Tonight's formula is a progressive way that you can learn the swing. Because here's the thing you have to learn about golf instruction, and this is what I want you to understand about tonight's program. I'm not just going to say, here's what you need to do, go figure it out. I'm going to give you an exact way to do it. And this is what golf instruction should get to. It should be telling you exactly what to do to get to your result. And I'm also going to tell you the whys of it, because I think you need to know why you're doing what you're doing and why it leads to that simplicity and that consistency. That's what tonight's all about. I'm going to put a word on the board here, and this is a very important subject for tonight, and it's the moment of impact. So that is a reference I want you to keep in mind tonight, because I'm going to go into a position here. I'm going to show you the position of impact. We're going to go right to impact position so you can see it. And we're going to point out a couple things. So, and then we're going to talk about what we're seeing here. So look at what happens when I get to impact. So you'll notice here at the moment of impact, and I'll kind of look up at the camera here so you can look at this. You see how I have a lead arm alignment? You see the tilt of my body? That's called side bend. You see how my lead leg is stable? My body also has some rotation to it. Notice how the trail arm is bent, the shoulder is down, so you see the tilt. So that's exactly how, when I come down into the golf ball, the position of my body, I'm in a position to where the club can come down and then compress that golf ball. Look at the angle coming down, compress the golf ball, and then the face can be square through the impact, then I can release. So look at that moment of impact. And wouldn't you say, and you guys can put this in the chat, would you agree with me, because it's important that we all agree on what we're talking about tonight, would you agree with me that if I'm going to help you get better, I've got to help you improve that right there, how to get to impact? How many of you would say, yes, I agree with that? Because I really can't, matter of fact, if you're taking instruction, how many of you out there are conventional golfers? If you've learned conventional swing, or if you've taken any lessons at all, maybe you didn't know if it was conventional or not, but any instruction, if they weren't helping you get to the moment of impact, they weren't helping you. And matter of fact, lots of thumbs up, yeah. And the thing about it too is, you know, have you guys out there, I got a question for the group out there. How many of you have taken a lesson, they put you on a TrackMan, they put you on some device, and they have you hitting golf balls, right? How many have done that? Give me a yes. Guys, it's measuring impact. It's measuring what the heck's happening at impact to that golf ball, right? So those devices, even though you're seeing a result of the ball, it's trying to get you to optimize the moment of impact. It's trying to get you to optimize your swing, get the ball to fly straight. So the goal of the golf swing, I mean, the whole goal of this mission here is to get you to this great moment of impact. And if you look at impact positions from all players across all the methods you see out there, you're going to see very similar things. You're going to see the side bend, the alignments, the trail arm bend. You're going to see very similar positions. Okay, so that's a very important understanding tonight, is that we have to get you to impact. Now, there's easy ways to get there, and there's complicated ways to get there. And I want to walk you through tonight the easy way. And this is why I struggled with golf instruction for so long, because there were so many different methods. There were so many people teaching different things. There were so many ways to try to get that job done, and it was just a lot of variation. Tonight I'm going to show you the solution, what I call the solution to it all. I'm going to show you the absolute easiest way. Now, you're probably asking the question, and I'd be asking this question. You're probably asking the question, well, Todd, everybody says they have an easy way. What do you mean by easy, right? Easy. What I'm going to talk about tonight, what I mean by easy, is based in biophysics, how the body works. So I've got to simplify the motion of the body. I want to give you a quick example of that just so you know where we're going tonight, because the clarity of this, and look, I'm not going to get crazy complicated with this. I've had to learn this stuff myself, but I think it's a really good understanding when you understand what I'm going to teach you, why you're doing what you're doing. Because if I can show you a few things, you understand why positions matter. So now we're going to talk about that. But the body has limits and ranges of motion, and we'll go through some of this, but you can see I can move my arm a long way in rotation. See that? But if I do certain things to my body, I go into tilts, for example, and I turn my upper arm inward, and I keep my upper arm inward. Look at this. My hand can only go so far. That's my limit. So what we can do is, and that's a quick example, I'm going to get into that more tonight. What I can show you is there is ways I can position and move the body that make it almost, I call it mistake proof. I can make a swing, I can make your body, make it so you can't not square a club face, where it squares up every single time. Isn't that a great thing? This is what Mo discovered. It's not a method. He discovered the best, most optimal way to use the human body to strike a ball on the ground with a stick to hit it dead straight. That's what he figured out. And I met Mo in 1994. And I was at wit's end with my game, and then I meet Mo and I see him hit a golf ball, and I've never seen a person, a human being, more machine-like. The swing was perfect, the ball striking was perfect, the sound of the golf ball, the flight of the ball, the consistency of the flight. And it wasn't just me. It was all the players that knew Mo Norman or heard of Mo Norman or had played golf with Mo Norman, the guys even like Ben Hogan and Ken Venturi and Tiger Woods and Vijay Singh and all these guys that knew of Mo or had played golf with him considered him the greatest ball striker who's ever played the game. And you have to ask this question, because I asked this exact same question. How can this reclusive Canadian guy that no one really knows be so great at hitting a golf ball? And you can say, well, it's because he's kind of a autistic guy. He might have autism. He's kind of, but no. I mean, if you take that aside, you just have to say, look, he's doing something different in the way he moves his body. And if you, that's exactly what I looked at. I didn't look at how different Mo was as a human being. I looked at what is he doing biophysically. Then I studied that. And I'm going to show you tonight. That's my goal tonight, is to show you exactly what he was doing so you can learn it and apply it to your own golf swing. But here's one suggestion I have for you, and it's almost a mandatory thing I want you to understand. You can't just do part of it. I don't want you to say, well, I like that part, but I don't like that part. Biophysics is biophysics. Everything relates to the next. We're going to talk about tonight. It's called progression. We're going to talk about the progressive side of this as well. So that's what tonight's all about. My goal is to get you to the moment of impact more consistently and give you some ideas of how you can do that and teach you how to do that as well. Okay, so let's talk about first things first. Let's talk about the single plane swing. Keep in mind, I'm going to erase this real quick. Let's talk about single plane swing. What is it, and exactly what did Mo figure out? There is particular positions of the body. I'm going to go through those very quickly, not to get too crazy detailed with this, but the body, when you swing a golf club, doesn't matter what method you use or if you use Mo's discovery, there is bend, side bend of the body, there is forward bend. So there's an axis this way, which is called bend. There's an axis this way called side bend, and then there's rotation. Those are basically the three movements of the body in the three different axes that you can move in three-dimensional space. And so when you look at me at impact again, take a look at this again, you're seeing all three of those. You're seeing a certain amount of side bend, you're seeing a certain amount of rotation, and you're seeing a certain amount of bend. So you're seeing me in those three metrics, correct? So would you agree, and you can put it in the chat, you would agree that if there, and I've studied this and we've measured this, and there is a range of position, a certain amount of rotation, a certain amount of bend, a certain amount of side bend that you must be in to strike the ball correctly. And there's a guy much smarter than me that's measured thousands of golf swings, and there's a range. If I can get you in that range, you're going to strike a golf ball well. Okay, so that's what we're after tonight. But now I want to show you the easiest way to get there, and it's the single plane swing. So let me do some common sense things. Guys, when I present this, and gals, I'm sure there's gals on here too, guys and gals, when I present this to you, I want you to understand that I can go into all the science and lingo and all that, but what I'm really talking about is common sense. I'm hitting that on the ground with this, and I've got to get to this position. That's it. I'm going to use common sense on this. When you swing the club conventionally, how many of you, I'd like to see this in the chat, how many of you right now, because I saw it earlier today, a guy was like, I was reluctant to change my swing, and I finally did it, and I'm having a lot of success with a single plane swing. How many of you right now are conventional golfers? Don't be afraid, just raise your hand. I want to see how many out there are conventional, just watching this tonight, first time you've seen this. I'd like to kind of know how many conventional golfers are in the room tonight. So what I want to teach you in the conventional golfers is I want you to know that the common sense of this, and just look at it from that perspective. Whether you decide to go with a single plane swing or not, obviously it's up to you, but I want you to see the common sense side of this. If my goal, if we all agree, because I wanted you to agree with me on this, if we all agree that we got to get to this impact moment, right? This impact position, the metrics of impact, we have to get here, right? Would you not agree that it would be smart to start very similar to that position? Start at address. Look at the alignment of my lead arm, very similar to impact. Look at the difference between address and impact. There's not a lot of difference. See that? Address and impact. Address, look at it from down the line. Address and impact. Address and impact. You see how my body position, there's a little more rotation and a little more hands in front, a little more weight on my lead side, but I have the club on the same plane. Look, look at the club plane. Look at my body, look at the tilt. Same, 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 and same. So tonight, I'm demonstrating common sense to you. This is what Mo figured out. When you're a conventional golfer, and I'll just kind of give you an example, what you're doing is they taught you to hang the arms. They've kind of neglected how you set up to a golf ball. They said, well, okay, well, Todd, just get comfortable and be athletic and stand here and hang your arms straight down. The problem with hanging your arms down when you set up in a conventional swing is this is not where you're going to impact. You're going to impact in a much different position. So you have these angles you got to deal with. At conventional, you got this angle here. And now you got to deal with it somewhere in the motion. Your body has to deal with, well, you're kind of close to the ball. Now you got to deal with all these angles. What Mo figured out, what Mo discovered, is he set his body up at address in a very similar metric to impact. See that? Very similar position at address to impact. Very similar. Here's address and impact. So again, the discovery is, can you simplify your golf swing to help you get to impact? Everything I teach you tonight is about impact. Everything. So every single movement I teach you, every position I teach you, everything about the single plane swing I teach you is to benefit you to get to that moment of impact. I got to put that back up here again just because it's going to bother me. I'm going to put it over here to get it out of the way, but I got to put this back up because it's such an important concept. Okay, so I have to get you to impact. Now, let's go through the swing motion, single plane swing motion. And I want to show you how I'm going to go through positions here. And I'm going to show you how each position puts the club on a plane to get me to impact. We'll talk about plane as well. So here I'm at address. Notice my single plane address, my lead arm in a position, the back of the hand is to the target. I'm creating an alignment of the lead arm and the club. And I'm in a tilt. See that, in a tilt. That's getting me aligned and very similar to my impact tilt. That's the same with down the line. Okay, same with down the line. Okay, so now I'm going to bring a trail hand in. My trail hand is in a position, look, it's underneath. Look how my trail arm is underneath my lead arm. That's where it's going to be at impact. Look how it's under. It's not over, it's under. So it's going to be under at impact. So again, I'm setting up in a very similar position to impact. Foot position, everything. Okay, so that's what we call position 0 at address. I'm going to go back to position 1. I'm going to go, that's the first motion. I'm going to go to position 2. Now here's what gets important about this. Watch, I want you to imagine something for me. On that screen, I want you to look at the club shaft plane. That's the angle the club is sitting. So you see the club shaft plane? When I go to position 1, I want you to see what happens. See that club shaft plane? That is matching. That plane angle is matching that address plane angle. So that's planing. See that? That would be steep. That would be flat. This is plane. So when I go from position 1 to position 2, I plane the club. Look at this coming down. It planes again. And then I return it to where? Back to the plane. Do you see what just happened? I'm putting my body in a position to where when I move, every position that I move through, the positions I'm moving through, are mirroring the impact plane. Doesn't that make sense? Because now the club doesn't have to move around a lot. Now it can make a direct line back to impact. Less movement, less variation, less deviation, more consistency. I promise you consistency tonight. That's where we get swing plane. So when people ask me the question, Todd, why don't more people do this? All good players plane the club. Everyone, they have to find that plane because that's where it's going to impact. They just deviate it. That's why you see so many different swings out there. That's why some guys are more consistent than others. But tour players, they kind of figure it out, and tour players don't play good all the time, by the way. They play good sometimes when they find that plane. What I want you to do is be like Mo Norman, where he always had it on plane. Mo, the beauty of Mo was he called himself a 365-day golfer. That's because he played good day in, day out. He never worried about being on plane. That's what I want you to have as well. So this is what I'm talking about, is everything about the single plane swing I'm teaching you is about getting to the moment of impact. Okay, so how many of you, just put it in the chat, is it making sense to you? And I'm going to show you some of the mechanics here. Okay, I'm going to show you some mechanics of this. So let's talk about what you're seeing here. When we teach the single plane swing, and let me finish the swing first. I just want to go through it because you're going to see the plane on the other side too. So you see it on plane coming down, plane at impact, extension, and then you're going to see it even finish. Look at this club. It's going to finish on plane. My body position has allowed the club to also finish on plane. So this plane is being referenced throughout the entire motion. It's what we call a single plane swing. This is what Mo discovered, a single plane swing based on how the body works. All right, and then let me add one more element to this and we'll get into my formula of learning it because I want to teach you it. I want to show you how to learn it. What happens is, what Mo also discovered was what I call the biophysics of it. You know, the question you have to ask is, why is he putting himself in the positions, and why do the positions that he put himself in playing the club easier? Why is his swing easier? Okay, and so you'd have to say, well, there's less movement, less rotation, and less moving parts to get the club to move to impact. That's why you're seeing it on plane in so many different places. Well, what does that mean? Well, when I take this hand and I go like this, and I'm just going to go through this is a little biophysics for you. This is why everything I'm going to teach you and everything Graves Golf teaches you it's backed up with science. It's backed up with facts. We don't teach anecdotal stuff. And what you see so much, guys, I would even say to you right now, and you're going to think this is odd, don't watch my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you're watching it correctly and not taking it out of context. Because tomorrow I might be talking about something that's not related, and you need to learn the address before you learn the backswing. But I talk about the backswing. So much of the instruction you learn is tips and out of context. It's just a bad place to learn. I'm not saying you can't get something out of it. It's entertaining maybe, but I want you to understand that learning it the correct way is important. We're going to go through that. But watch this biophysics here. Notice when I go into my tilt, very similar to impact, that's the tilt I have it, that's impact tilt, right? When I go in tilt, it puts this arm in front of me, making it easier to get to impact. This is called ulnar deviation, when the wrist does this. That's what you want to see happen when you come down. You want this wrist to go ulnar deviated to impact, because when it does that, it hits a max range and it squares the face. So what happens is now I can square the face every single time as long as I have tilt. So my point to this is the tilt of your body matters to get this hand to reach that limit. If I lose my tilt, look at my hand. I can rotate it even more. So this is, let me go through my formula for learning this. And as I go through the formula, right, as I go through this formula, I will explain each element of it and how the biophysics relates to impact. Very important to do that. Okay, here we go. First things first. The very first thing, and this is what I call my progressive formula. This is the progressive way you learn the single plane swing, and we're going to go through the mechanics of it, is address and grip. Address and grip. Now notice, I didn't say grip and address. I said address and grip. How many of you, put it in the chat, give me a hello or a thumbs up. How many of you learned golf and you learned, when you took your first lesson, probably not when you learned golf, when you took your first lesson, they taught you to grip it first in your lesson? Just give me a yes or whatever on that. So I didn't say that. I said address and grip, because here's the thing. So many people get, if you get the grip wrong, I'm not saying you will, but most people do, when you hold the club incorrectly, if you try to grip it first, notice people learn the grip like this. They're like, okay, and their body isn't even tilted, and they try to grab the club. When they grip it incorrectly, now, remember, you got to get to impact. If the face is not square to where the grip is, they have to adjust their rotation of their body to match a bad grip. You should not ever learn grip first. What you should learn is body position at address first, and then hand and arm position. Because now you're matching what? Remember that impact, right? You're matching impact. So again, doesn't that make sense? Why am I trying to put my hands on the club? You're not here to grip the club. You're here to get to impact. So why wouldn't I preset myself at impact, grip the club so I can get to impact, right? So I want you to learn that we teach address and grip, body position, then hand position. I'm going to go into that a little bit more in a second. The next thing, remember, my goal is to get you to impact. So the next thing I'm going to teach you is all the positions. The positions of the swing. We have actually 6 of them, 1 through 6. Well, why do I want to learn the positions? Because I want the positions to get the club onto the plane correctly. The simple way to get it on plane, to get it through impact, to and through impact. So I'm going to teach you positions. Okay? Makes sense, right? Good? Positions of the swing. The next thing I'm going to teach you is, once you have the address and grip, and once you have the positions of the swing, I'm going to teach you the sequence. In other words, I'm going to teach you how to put the positions together into an order. Right? I'm going to teach you how to take those, because here's the thing. Here's the thing about positions, and here's what you got to know about this. You're going to say, well, why do you have to learn positions, Todd? I mean, shouldn't you already know how to get in positions? Because if you can't do the positions in slow motion, position by position, which I'm going to demonstrate right now, if you can't do those positions in slow motion, you will not do them in fast motion. I'm going to explain this in just a second, but watch this. Let me go through the positions of the swing, and I'm going to do it position by position, and you must be able to do this before you go into sequence. So here we go. Address and grip. 1, 2, leverage, that's where I'm going to get speed. Transition, stabilization. 3, impact. 4, extension. 5, look at that head position. And then 6, back to the plane. Then you can stand up like Mo and be on your left side. Those are the 6 positions that you must be able to put your body into before you can sequence. Now, again, I'm not just going to tell you things without defining them for you. So why would I want you to learn positions before you put it into sequence? Here's why. Because inside this sequence, there's this thing I call the brakes, or the braking system. Here's what that is. Notice when I move, and I'll do this again. Let me go through the positions again so you can see them. I think the more you see them, the better. Watch what I'm doing. Okay, notice when I go to position 1 and then position 2, notice how, look at my trail leg, it's staying in an angle, it's braced, right? So my trail leg's not moving, nor is my trail foot, it's not moving either. So notice how my trail leg is staying still, but I'm still moving around it. So you would say that my trail leg has the brakes on, it's not moving, but I can move around it. So in order to create movement, if my trail leg was moving, everything would move together, you wouldn't be able to produce any speed. So one part has to be still so another part can move around it. One part has to have the brakes on so the other parts, the next part, can move. This is the sequence of a golf swing. I don't want to get into kinematic sequence, but this is how all rotation athletes produce speed, because the goal is to produce speed through impact. Now watch this. My brakes are on the backswing. There's even brakes in the upper body, by the way. We'll go through those in a minute. Now watch when I change direction. So I'm going to transition. Look, I go into my lead knee, stable. Now I come down, look at my lead knee, it'll stop, and I start moving around that lead knee. Look at the lead knee staying stable, and I deliver the club into impact, right into impact consistently. This knee puts the brakes on so I can deliver the club through side bend, deliver an impact. So I have brakes on the lead side. So I'm changing directions, but I have brakes. So you understand that the braking system, how you have to stop certain parts so other parts can accelerate, right? The question I have for you, or actually more of a comment I have for you, is what creates the brakes? And it's the positions. So without correct positions, you cannot produce the brakes. For example, if I let my leg move, or if I shift over, say I'm not stopping, I can't rotate this when this moves. If this leg didn't stop, I couldn't stop. So you're going to see that the braking system, if my side bend wasn't there, I couldn't get to a point where I could accelerate the arms. So I must have the position of my body correct to allow the acceleration. It's how it works in rotational athletics. It's not just golf, by the way. Throwing a ball, all this stuff. It's there. I learned this from a famous pitching coach. He taught me a lot about biophysics. This stuff is relevant to anybody that swings a golf club, throws a ball, or does rotational sports. Okay, so we have address and grip. Now we have your positions. The positions create your positions that allow you to have breaks. Now you can sequence the body. I'm getting kind of deep into this. Everybody okay so far on this? Okay. Now, guess what? When all this is in place, I can have this really fun thing. Speed. I can now start accelerating, hitting the ball long distances. But not only do I have speed, I have consistency, because I'm able to get to impact consistently because my positions allow me to get there. The club is on plane because of the single plane swing. Now I can deliver that club consistently to impact. Squaring the face, I'm going to show you how to do that. With the brakes in place, and I can accelerate. How many is this making sense to? Because guys, listen, golf is not taught this way. I've never seen anybody in all of my years, we're the only company that teaches golf the correct way. Because look at something. I will bet you a $100 bill, that you learn golf the exact opposite of this formula. This is my formula, by the way, just so you know. That was what I told you I'd give you tonight. This is my formula. I'll bet that you learn golf like this. You went and grabbed a golf club and you started swinging. How many of you started swinging the golf club? That's how you learned. You went to the range, you went to the golf course, and you started hitting golf balls. And that's the way I learned. That's the way most of my friends learned. Matter of fact, that's the way all my friends learned. Or they learned to grip it first and then swing, right? But you learn golf exactly backwards. You learn golf the exact way it shouldn't be learned. Think about anything else that you would want to learn. Think about, and I use this example, I was shooting a bunch of content in Phoenix, and I use this example, I use 3 examples, and I like this one the best, I'll give it to you guys, like baking a cake, right? They like the baking the cake one, where if you're gonna bake a cake, you don't just take all the ingredients, chunk them in a pan, and throw them in the oven. You gotta put the ingredients in correctly, in the correct order, right? You gotta mix them up correctly, and then you put it in the oven. You gotta have the right amounts, right? You gotta have the right amounts of ingredients. You gotta have them in the correct order. And so, this is like baking a cake. You don't just chunk it all in the oven. The analogy I like is if you're learning to dance. You don't just learn to dance, you learn what? You learn how to position your body. You learn how to stand, you learn to position your body, then you learn how to sequence those positions. You go step 1, step 2, step 3, then you add speed to it and you gotta dance. Playing piano, you learn the notes. You learn the notes before you put them into order, then you can play music. So guys, golf is taught so backwards, and this is why you struggle. This is why I struggle. That's why everybody struggles, because we all learn it incorrectly. We don't learn it fundamentally. Fundamentally is address and grip, positions, sequence, speed. And I'm even giving you an advantage, the single plane. I'm giving you the easiest way to do this, right? I mean, you can learn the conventional golf this way too. I'd suggest it. I would suggest learning conventional golf this way, but I'm giving you the easiest way to learn it. Now, this is my progressive formula. Let me show you a bit of biophysics, just because I love to show it to you and show you how now I can square your club face every single time. And this is where I'm using this example right now. Right now, you're a human being and I'm a human being, and we got human beings in this room, and we all swing the golf club. Every one of you right now, if you did this, did this, did this, and did this, and you practiced it correctly, could develop a perfect golf swing that hits it dead straight, just like Mo Norman every single time. All of you could do this. There is a golf swing inside of you right now waiting to come out if you're willing to do this progressively in order. This is my progressive formula, by the way. I'm going to give you a quick example of this to show you how it's already inside of you, okay? So do this with me. How many of you are willing to do this with me? You can stay seated. I do the version of this where you can stay in your chair. So as you're in your chair, what I want you to do, if you're left-handed golfer, right-handed golfer, but as a right-handed golfer, I'm going to tilt to my right. So just kind of in your chair, just give me a little tilt. And then from that tilt, I want you to put your arm in front of you. I'm just putting you in the address position with your upper body. And then I'm going to put your arm into flexion. This is called flexion. So I got side bend and flexion. Notice how my shoulder goes forward. So flexion. So I want you to put yourself into a slight side bend in your chair and flexion with your arm. Now, I don't want you to do something for me. I want you to just go back and forth with your forearm, and I want you to notice how much rotation you have. Now, when you grip a golf club, the back of this hand, determines your club face. So I want you to see this. Notice how the back of my hand is lined up with the club face. That's squaring club face. So you would have to agree that if I can get the back of the hand to the target at impact, the ball will go straight, right? Square face. So the goal is, with a good hand position, notice how I went into my tilt before my hand position, address then grip. So now, my goal is to get the back of the hand to the target. Let me show you how I can do this biophysically where you can never miss that. So if I tilt your body, I put your arm into flexion. This is called internal rotation. So when you turn your arm towards my right, that's internal. External is to my left. So you can go internal, external. Look at that. Okay, so that's your range of motion, by the way. That's your range. So you guys should have just about as much range as I have, about 270 degrees range of motion. I go all the way to the thumb to the ground, thumb almost all the way back to the ground, but not quite. So that's quite a bit of range, right? You're like, wow, Todd, I can move my arm that far. I'm going to show you how I can limit that. So do this for me now. Side bend, flexion. I want you to go internal with your entire arm. Internal, so turn it as far as you can this way. Put your thumb to the ground. Okay, I want you to keep everything above your elbow internally rotated. So you're in your tilt. Keep all this internally rotated. Don't move this. You can even hold it if you want to. And now I want you to only rotate your forearm. Just do your best on this. Only rotate your forearm. And I'm going to show you that I can only get my hand to the target, back of the hand to the target. I can't go further. I'm trying, I can't go further. How many of you are getting that? So, and I'm going to explain what you're doing here. So internal with your arm, hold the arm internally, and then only turn your forearm, and the forearm squares the face. Okay? So I just showed you that if you put your body in a certain position and you create a limit of one part, it limits another. How many get that? Look at that, square, Willie T, right up to the target, okay? Okay, let me tell you what happens in the golf swing. Remember how I gave you side bend? So I gave you side bend, right? Side bend. Now, the backswing, what's the backswing actually doing? It's putting the arm internally rotated, see that? I get internal rotation, that's what put the clubs on plane. That's what plane is plane is an internal rotation of the arm. Does that make sense? So now, in the downswing, the arm stays internally rotated because of my tilt and my flexion. I stay internally rotated with upper arm, correct? And then down here, guess what? Guess what happens to the club? Forearm squares it every single time. See that? Squares every time. Is everybody getting that? So what created a square face? What created it? Well, positions of my body, the limitation of my lead arm internal, keeping it internal because of my tilt, to where it only could go that far because of my tilt. You want to screw it up? Come out of tilt. See, if I come out of tilt, this goes external. See that? So how important are positions now to you? How important positions, the position of the body become? Pretty important, right? That's a small example of what I can teach you, right? I just taught you the biophysics of Mo Norman's genius right there. That's what he figured out. He discovered it. Because he said, here's the genius of Mo. And I want to get into, I got something I want to mention to you. By the way, we have two giveaways tonight, so we can stick around. What Mo figured out was don't start conventionally. That's too hard. Start in a position where I'm already in flexion. I'm already in a position to go internal. I'm already in a position to square the face. He put his body in a position that reduced the amount of movement and increased. Mo used to tell me, give yourself a chance. He gave himself the absolute best chance to square the face every single time. I just gave you this secret to consistency tonight. Now, here's the thing about it. This is what we teach. This is what I teach at Graves Golf. This is the simplest possible way and the absolute formula to teach you the easiest way to play golf and play better golf. And this is, you do what I tell you here, you will stop struggling for the rest of your life. This is your lifetime solution to playing better golf. And my team challenged me. They said, Todd, how long, if you taught somebody this, how long would it take? And look, I'll be realistic. It's going to take a little bit of time. So I said, guys, I need 30 days. I need 30 days with my students. And by the way, I want them to do this more than once, but this is the formula. Once they learn the formula, they use it for the rest of their life. So I want them to learn the formula in 30 days and use this for the rest of their life. So I need 30 days. So I put together a program called Single Plane 30. It's a 30-day formula. There's some very important things about this, and I want to tell you about this program because this is life-changing for you. If you're willing to do this, you will stop struggling, you will save your back, you will become more consistent, you'll be the golfer you've always wanted to be, you'll do it all these, we have testimonials. We've been doing this program for 12 months now. Here's what it is. It's 30 days of, this goal is designed to transform your golf game for the rest of your life so you're more consistent, hitting the ball dead straight, getting the club face square, and getting the club on plane. 30-day program. Here's what we do. In week one, guess what? I do exactly my progressive formula. I teach you the address and grip, and we start getting into the positions of the swing in week one. That's what we do in the first week. We build the foundation for you. In week two, we do key position training. That's what we do in week two. We do all these key positions. Remember, if you don't hit the positions correctly, you will not be able to create the braking system. So the positions, remember the positions, they're right here. Address and grip, position 1, position 2. There's the brakes. There's the brakes again. Look at the side bend, more brakes. impact. There's that important position. So we teach you how to, these positions. Here in week 3, guess what? Now that you know the positions, we get into sequencing. This is where you learn the braking system. Now that you can brake, we teach you how you're using it in sequence, and guess what? Week 4 is about speed. I have a 4-week training program, but it's more than just a bunch of videos, guys. I don't believe in just sending you a bunch of videos and having you guys watch these things and go, I hope I learn it. Here's what one of the most important parts of this program is, and this might be this is why you should sign up. We give you daily accountability. Every single day I drop you a training module. So you wake up, you got your daily training. This is an example of what it looks like on the screen here. It's a video and it tells you exactly what you need to do that day. Look at this, look at the screen here. Can you put that back up there? Are they seeing it right now? Notice 5 sets of 20 reps. We're giving you reps. Reps are the key. Watch me for 1 second. What's missing right here on this screen in my formula is repetition. R-E-P-S. Because the science of reprogramming your brain is done through you doing this. Watching my videos isn't going to help you guys. It might be fun, might be educational. Tonight's probably great. You're probably learning stuff. You probably got some insight. That's a start. But the only way you get this, I get that question all the time, Todd, how long does it take me to get this swing? That's how you get it. You got to do it. We created a doing program. I don't want you to just watch videos. I want you doing it. Matter of fact, in Single Plane 30 this year, I'm doing it with you throughout the program as well. Now, not only are you getting daily training modules, not only are we holding you accountable, we give you coaching support. By the way, I coach the program throughout the month. We have coaches involved in Graves Golf. I hop on Zoom calls with you and I answer your questions throughout the month. So we're interacting with you. You're inside Single Plane Academy. You can ask questions to the coaches. You can post some pictures of your address and grip. We give you coaching feedback throughout the month as well. We're coaching you. You guys think this is expensive, don't you? It's not. I'll show you here in a second. Check this out. 30-day training program. We normally charge between $500 and $1,000 for a program like this. This is $649. Daily accountability, keeping you on track, making sure you're getting your modules. There's some value to that, $349. Our coaching support, guys, getting on with us. We charge $300 to $500 an hour. Getting on with us is expensive. That's a $1,000 value. We're doing this entire program for you for $297 for the entire month. Now, can you put the link on there? If you guys are already interested in this, gravesgolf.com/enroll. That's enroll in the program. Here's the thing about it, before we get to that next slide. When you do this program and you enroll in this, I want to make sure you do it. So the reason I like doing it with you, so what we do, we start the program the first Monday of the month. So you have to start, so it's the 4th, February 3rd. So we start February 3rd. So right now, you have to enroll now so you can be ready for February 3rd. Once February 3rd hits, you have to wait a month to get in the program because we're coaching it with you, right? And I like to be with you in the program. I don't want people, one guy in week 2, one guy in week 4. We're all in the same week. We're all asking relevant questions to that week. We're all involved. I'm coaching you throughout the week. The coaches are with you. We're supporting you in those weeks in the proper progressive training. We love to do it this way. We did it this way last year. We had almost 1,500 people go through the program just last year going through this. So you have to be signed up by February 3rd. So jump in there right now because you got to be there. Now, I'm going to give you something with this program. I'm going to give you a little value here. Of course, after you start learning speed, you want to go generate some speed. I'm going to give you a power generation masterclass. This is a way I teach you how to take those breaks and the positions you've learned and develop more power in your swing. I'm going to give you this program for going through this, but you don't get it until you go through the program. So I'm going to give you the power generation. Here's what's inside that power generation masterclass. You're going to learn the difference between power and speed. That's between lower and upper body. We'll get into all that. You're going to learn why the lower body movement is key to speed. You know, how is lower body actually braking system? How is producing speed? How to train and build power and what to do to increase your speed. How many of you guys want to hit it farther? Well, first of all, you can't do it without this. And once you get that, we want to produce more speed. So I'm giving you that class. Now, I want to point out something because I know we're gonna be wrapping up here and take some questions. You're seeing me use some training aids up here. So this is the alignment ball position trainer. when you learn, guys, again, I'm talking science here, I'm talking common sense. And if you guys are with me, just stay with me here for a second. When I set up over this golf ball, you're thinking, well, exactly what is the brain going through? What am I learning? And what you're seeing, the visuals are very important. And then what you feel, and then the positions you're in, all those things you're learning inside single plane 30. These training aids down here are feedback tools. They're giving me feedback. They're keeping me consistent. How can you be consistent if you don't practice the technique consistently? So these training aids are around $300. This one on the floor here is about $100. This is the Feeling of Greatness Training Club. This has the hand position. It's a club you can hit. And by the way, the paint on the shaft helps me get the proper side bend of the body. This is designed to get in the address and grip position with your hand position. And then we have the single plane trainer, which teaches you single plane positions. Okay, $300. I'm going to give you 50% off of these training aids. So I'm giving you 50% off. So those 3 training aids for the first 50 people only. So if you're on tonight, for the first 50 people, I'm going to give you 50% off the training aids. Guess what though? I'm going to give you a $150 gift card as well. What does that mean? Figure it out. So I give you the training aids at half price and I give you $150. Basically, you're paying shipping for the training aids. And Scott's happy because he's like, don't say free. Don't say free. Now, I'm basically, for the cost of us shipping them to you, I'm giving you training aids. But let me tell you about the training aids. And if you're watching this, I got to get them to you before you start the class. I want to get them to you. Right? So join now so I can get them out of my warehouse and ship those to you so you have them ready for the class, which starts on the 3rd. Okay, so let's go through it one more time. You got single plane 30, you got the $2,000 value in the package, you got the power generation masterclass, another $500, you got the discounts on the training aids, $171 value, and you got the gift certificate for $150. Basically all for $300. You're getting this, guys, for $300 you're getting it all. You're getting the whole thing for $300, and I get to coach you as well. Yes, I'm your personal coach. I get to coach you through the program, and you get to interact with me throughout this program. All right, gravesgolf.com/enroll. That is the program. Now, we get some common questions about this, and I got some questions popping in here. If you have a few inside the chat, please post them. I'll answer a few questions as we hang in here for a little while. One of the questions, pretty common question, is what if I miss a day of the training or I can't do every single day? You can catch up. It's not too big a deal because the training takes between 20 to 30 minutes per training module. I recommend you do it twice a day. One in the evening, one in the morning, one in the evening. Now, if you miss a day, you just got to work a little bit the next day to get the training modules. It's progressive, so you're not going to be like, oh my God, I missed everything. Because we'll go through, let's say, position 0 and 1 and 2 in one day, and then 3 and 4. You're just working at the first part of the training. So it's not crazy. You're not like swinging one day and not swinging the next. It's progressive. If you miss a week, you're probably going to have some trouble. So I would join the next month if you're going to miss an entire week. But if you're going to miss a day, it's not a problem. Oh, and Frank asked the question, if I have back pain, will this help? Of course, this helps. Let me explain quickly why this saves your back. It's pretty simple. You'll notice that in the single plane swing, you notice I'm starting on the impact plane. We talked about this a minute ago. I'm starting, see the plane of the club? But when I start on the impact plane, it takes the pressure off of my back. And here's why it does that. If you have back pain and you're a conventional golfer, put it in the chat. Just give me a thumbs up or a hello if you have back pain. A lot of people have back pain. I think there's a statistic that 50% of people that play golf will experience back pain at one point or another. Conventional golf lends itself towards back pain because what happens when you are in a two-plane position, you're too close to the ball, basically. And when you swing down, your body has to create room, so it's moving up as well. So you got a part of your body, lower part's moving up, upper part's moving down. Well, that's called compression. When one part's pushing up, one part's pushing down, there's force in between called compression. But the worst part is you're turning too, so now you got shear. You're tearing apart what's pushing together. Well, all good golf swings have rotation. We have lots of rotation in our swing, so rotation isn't the problem. The problem is the compression. So when we're on a single plane, we no longer have the compression. We're actually staying, we don't have the pushing down and the pushing up, but we have the rotation, so now we've eliminated the shear. We've eliminated the pain. So single plane swing, we're known for eliminating back pain. It's just biophysics. It's the easiest way to move the body. Here's a good question. Are all the classes live? Are there live parts of the class? So the modules are not live. You're delivered a module every single day. We do a live session every week, once a week. We hop on there live with you and do a live session, which is recorded. So if you're on there live, great. If you're not, it's recorded and it's posted into your space. Basically, you're getting a customized space for the program that you're in. You'll be in the program. It's the class. You're in the class, and all interaction that we have with you is in that space. If we do a live event, sometimes I do some extra live events. If we do those go into the space as well. So yes, we do one live every single week, but usually we do more. Larry's asking a lot of questions tonight. Should I stop playing when I go through this course? Larry, here's my recommendation. We've had that question asked a lot. I recommend that you take some time off of playing, ideally. Now, that's hard for a lot of people to take time off of playing. So here's what I recommend. Do a training module in the morning before you play. Go play during the day. And then do the training module again at night. So that would be, I would want you to do it twice a day because I want you to getting enough training in to start reprogramming yourself. The brain must have time to learn something new, and if you keep overriding it with the old, because you're going to want to play on the course, you don't want to, trying new stuff on the course is hard, so I recommend that you take some time off of playing. If you can't take some time off of playing, that you do the modules twice a day. That's the best way to do it. Oh, here's a good question. I live in a cold climate. Should I take the class, should I wait and take the class until golf season? From Brian. Actually, here's what we've seen with the class. I reckon the cold climate's the best time to take the class because it's all done indoors. You can do the entire class. I'm in a studio tonight. I can do the entire class indoors in my studio. I just have to have enough room to move a golf club. So you need room. You can do it in your garage. You can do it in your house. You can do it in you might have a workout room, a space to do it. You're not on the driving range. So you can do this indoors. So that's why this class is perfect for the off season. Perfect class for that. But here's the thing of what we've seen in the class. Is most people take the class multiple times. And by the way, if you take the class, you get a discount in subsequent classes. I'm just giving you a preview of that. So we want you to take this class multiple times. When you take the class multiple times, it's reinforcement, right? And so we'll see guys taking the class every 2 months or once every 3 months because they keep reinforcing the stuff. It's beautiful. That's how you learn, by doing, by training. And it's the perfect formula. So we've seen people take the class in the off season and also take it while they'll play for a couple months and then take it again. Geez, that's perfect, guys. That's how you do it. That's how you learn. That's how you keep doing. If you don't practice consistently, you won't build consistency. The consistent formula, keep going through it. This is a formula for the rest of your life. This is not a quick fix thing, guys. This is where you're gonna play golf for the rest of your life. This is a perfect way to do it. Okay, we got the first giveaway. Guys, look, here's what you're winning tonight. You're winning our lock and roll putter. By the way, this is the single plane putting system. Lock and roll putter is designed to lock to the arm, just in a straight line like the single plane. And look, it's on a single plane and get you putting into a single plane. Look, it's linear, straight line putting. So Leo, how do you spell it? How do you pronounce it? Bonaventura from Carmel, Indiana, has won a lock and roll putter. Congratulations, Leo. We need to fit you to that putter, your length. So we will be reaching out to you. Leo, thank you for that. We'll get you a putter. And you choose your color as well. We have a second giveaway tonight, which is a level 3 membership. Guys, let me tell you about level 3 membership really quickly. Level 3 membership is where you work with our coaches directly every single month. And you got Ron Martin Blackstock from Ontario. Right? Or from Blackstock, Ontario?
Ron Martin from Blackstock.
Oh, okay. Ron Martin from Blackstock, Ontario. Got it. He has won level 3 membership for a year. So congratulations, Ron. We'll be reaching out to you and getting you in our coaching program. You'll be working with our coaches for a year, and you'll certainly enjoy that. Thank you. Let's go through this one more time on the Single Plane 30 package, $297. It's the Single Plane 30 program. You're getting the fast action bonuses, which includes the master classes, what's the master class they're getting? The power generation class. They're getting the power class. And then you're getting the training aids and all that stuff. And you're getting me as your coach. Total value, $5,000 for $297. gravesgolf.com/enroll. That's the entire program for you, but you must be enrolled by February 3rd to get started in the class. Any more questions coming in?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, let me grab my, where'd I put my 6-iron?
Over here.
Oh. All right, so here's what Paul says. Course sounds good. Cost sounds good. Does it make sense to roll a course without the specialized clubs? Paul, you can do this entire course with just one club in your hand. This is a repetition course to train you this formula. You can do it with one club. Now, let me talk about clubs for a second. This is a question we get asked quite a bit about the single plane swing. We want to optimize the way clubs fit the single plane through your body, so we recommend that you get single plane fit. We have a single plane fitting process that we would want you to go through, but you do not need to go through that for this course. You're not out there pounding golf balls. You're basically using one club and training your body and reprogramming your brain into this formula. I'm re-teaching you the golf swing so you can use the 6-iron that you basically get from this program through the entire course. That's what I recommend you do. I recommend you sign up now, get the big discounts, let us get those training aids to you, and use this club as you train. That's why we did the program like this. Okay, question. Todd, from position 2 to position 3, do you feel like you throw your hands down at the ball? From Brian Barry. Yes and no. I mean, what you have to understand is that there is, I'm gonna go through something here. This is this single plane trainer. You will get this when you sign up for the course, the first 50. We'll get this. This is the single plane trainer. I want to show you something, and I just did an entire video on this just recently. Notice how the club is pointing to my lead side. This is when I get my address and grip, I have an alignment, right? But it's really a lead side alignment. See how the club is going up to my lead side? Why do I want it to my lead side? Somebody answer this for me. I don't want to give it away. Because that's where I have an impact, right? It's on my lead side. See that? That's impact. It's always referencing the lead side. So notice that when I take the club back, even though it's hinged, it still references my lead side. See, that's still on my lead side. So everywhere in my swing, the club can get to impact. And that's what swing plane is, by the way. Swing plane is just a reference to impact. If I was off plane, I can't get to impact. If I'm flat, it's hard to get to impact. So the answer to that question is, do the hands come straight down? Well, it has to match the body position. So my hands are coming down as I'm turning, because I can't just go hands down because then I don't get the club to impact. So I have to get the proper rotation. So there's a club to body relationship. This is what we train you in all the positions. That's why positions, metrics are important, because that gets me to impact. So do I feel the hands come down? Yes, but I also feel rotation of the body. So that's the best way to answer it is yes, I feel the hands coming straight down the plane line. My hands do come straight down the plane line. That's immeasurable. But I also feel like I'm turning a bit as well. I'm hitting the ball okay with single plane off the ground. My issue is now driver. My ball tails to the right, not letting back, not getting back square to the ball. Well, that might not be exactly, I mean, you could be square to the ball, you could be rotated, the body's opened up. So it sounds like there's a path issue, path and face issue. Obviously the ball's going to the right. My recommendation, I'll give you a quick tip. If I had you on video, my suggestion, my thought, because again, we like to coach through direct feedback. We like to coach through videos. We like to see your video, because then we can tell you exactly what's going on. But it sounds like let's go through some deduction. Okay, so look, I can answer every one of your swing questions with my formula. Okay, so no matter what question you ask me here, I'll answer it with this. So the first thing I would do, having trouble, you got the ball going to the right. How is your address and grip? So I would check that, right? I'm going to check that. And if I like it, I'm going to sign off. Love that, looks good, address and grip looks good. Okay? Then I'm going to check all your positions. Now, I might check it in a video of your swing, but I'm going to check, first of all, can you hit the positions correctly? Second of all, how do the positions look on video? And if I like those, I'm going to check that. But I'll bet you we find it somewhere in there, because that's what's affecting your ability to get the club square at impact, right? Somewhere in there. And then if that's good, I'm going to check your sequence and then your speed. But right in this formula, right in here, I will find every one of your issues. But what I'm not going to do, and guys, I promised you this tonight. That was the promise of this program. I'm not going to quick fix this. I'm not going to say, well, close the face, because that might not be the problem. I'm not going to say fix your grip, because I don't know if that's the problem. I'm not going to say give them or sideband. It could be that too. But I'm not going to say that because I don't know until I can put you in my formula. See, I don't guess at stuff anymore. I don't guess. I've learned my lessons. And guys, here's my thing. Here's what I'll do for you. If you don't love single plane 30, and you'll learn everything you need to know about this single plane 30. If you don't love it, I'll give you 100% of your money back. You can just call me up and say, Todd, I didn't like the program, it sucked. Here's your money back. And I'll give you your money back because I'm that confident that you will solve your issues with this program, and you'll have the program you need to solve all your issues in the future. That's how great this program is. Here's another question. Isn't the consistency highly dependent upon moving into the exact braking position in the forward swing with Mo's model? Isn't the consistency highly dependent? Yeah.
Isn't consistency.
Yeah. So, I mean, look. Consistency is going to be, can you get to impact the same way every time? Well, look at impact. I mean, impact is when, look at my lead leg. This is a very important part of getting to impact is the lead leg position, because I'll give you the braking system again on the lead side. You want to deliver the club to impact every single time, right? We want to get that club coming into impact, square, boom, every single time. Well, this range of motion right here, look at the lead hip. It gets to a limit. Why? Somebody in the chat tell me, why is the lead hip limited here? Okay? How can, maybe a better question to ask is, how am I limiting the hip? How am I limiting the rotation of the hips? And you guys are going to answer, some of you guys already know, is when I have that knee in position, when I have the foot in position and the knee in position and my side bend and that foot on the ground, see positions, I can only go so far with my hips. See that? It creates a limit. And so when I have that limit, my upper body could only go to a certain place. If I'm moving my lower body everywhere, look at my upper body, it goes everywhere too. So yes, if I have the braking system on the lead side correct and the trail foot braking, I deliver the same way every single time. That was Mo's genius. But you got to learn the positions. Most people don't learn the positions correctly. That's the thing, right? They're skipping the step. Most people are like, oh, let me just go hit some balls. But they miss the step. If you can't do it in slow motion, if you haven't hit, listen, in our class, we test you. I should, right now, stand up, show me a perfect impact position. Just stand up and show me perfect. If you can't show me a perfect impact like this, if you can't do this, if you can't go perfect impact, if you can't do that right there, it's not in your brain. If you can't show me and demonstrate right now a perfect impact, don't go backswing, don't go position one, don't go anywhere, just go right to impact. Get out of your chair and go right to impact. If you can't demonstrate to me a perfect position at impact, it's not in your brain. It's not in there, right? And if it's not in there, how are you going to accomplish that when you're in full speed? So we got to put it in your brain. We got to put it in your neural network. We got to build it. We got to train it. We got to bake the cake. And that's how you do it. I don't know any other way. If you guys know a different way, send it to me, please. That is how you program yourself. And so we have to build that neural network in you. And the only way to do that is through repetition and doing it correctly. That's why this program is so powerful. This will be the most powerful program you ever put yourself into. If it's not, I'll give you 100% of your money back. It is the most powerful way to train. This is based on how the brain works, how the brain-body connection works. That's how it works. Another question, do I need proper fitting to benefit single plane swing? Yes. So our recommendation is you can use your current clubs and you'll do pretty well. You'll have some success, but you get a full benefit when the clubs fit you perfectly to single plane. That's why we have a free single plane fitting that we give you as well. And if you want to email us, guys, if you have questions about this program, and Chris is probably still in the chat. Chris, put an email in there if guys have some questions. If you have any questions about the program, or you want to understand our fitting system for clubs, how you can take your clubs and get those adjusted for the single plane swing, Chris will send you an email in there that you can, Scott R at Graves Golf or Todd G at gravesgolf.com. Let us know. We'll help you out. Okay, so again, guys, hop in the program. It starts February 3rd. Here's the package again, gravesgolf.com/enroll, $297. That is the discounted price for the first 50 people that are going to get all this value with it as well. The training aids, me as your coach, and our fast action bonuses with the Power Generation Masterclass. And the class for $300, it's nothing. It's the best investment you'll ever make in your life. Good? All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate all of you, and let's have a great 2025. And I will see you in the single plane 30 class in the month of February. Thanks for joining me tonight.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But he'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.